Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sherrard Show. I'm your host, Sherrard. Happy Monday to you all. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Monday or had a wonderful Monday. We have a very special show, ladies and gentlemen. We have boxing royalty in the house. We have a gentleman who's been doing it for many years. I'm a huge fan of his. He's fought some of the greatest fighters, and he's had an incredible career, two-time champion. We will get to him in a momentarily, Mr. Tim Witherspoon, first time on the Sherrard Show. But before we get to Tim, the Sherrard Show is brought to you by the Pure Essence Television Network, where you can see some of the greatest episodes of your life now playing, from The Temptations to the Isley Brothers to Joe Montega to Jay Leno and so many more. Just click the link right there in your monitor and you can see some of the greatest episodes of your life. It's also brought to you by iHeartRadio. If you missed this broadcast on television, you can also listen to it on iHeartRadio. Just click the link below and you can smile and drive. Then lastly is brought to you by my limited edition shoe collection called Ra-Ra's, where every $1 goes to the fight for the cure for lupus. You can get some of the greatest pairs of shoes from made out of Italy and towards the fight for the cure for lupus. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for the last 2 months, we've been honoring some of the greatest boxers who ever laced up gloves. We've had Michael Spinks on the show. We've had Anthony Peterson, Bobby Chaz. Also, we've had Junior Jones, Vito Antifermo, just to name a few. And now we have a gentleman who rocked the house against Larry Holmes back in the 80s. And also, he was a regular sparring partner for the late, great Muhammad Ali. But he also is a two-time champion. He beat the likes of Greg Page, James Smith, Tony Tubbs, Frank Bruno, just to name a few. He had a heck of a jab, and also he knew how to slip punches. And now he's on the Sherrard Show, the man himself, Mr. Tim Witherspoon. Welcome, sir. How are you?
Everything is beautiful. I like the way you announced this. That was really
Tim,
nice.
Tim, it's such an honor having you on the show for the first time. You've been doing it so great. Tim, tell us a little bit about your inspiration and what got you started to becoming a boxer.
Well, I like sports. I'm a fifth oldest of 10 siblings. And I started out in sports at a young age, and like my mom, she was like a really church going person, and we never really got in the gangs, me and my siblings, just maybe some of the oldest ones and stuff like that, but we were always directed in the right direction. And baseball, football, basketball, everything. An older guy, he's passed away, his name is Tommy Wade. He always came in from New York. He worked at NBC in New York, but he would come in and take us to on Sundays and Saturdays and take us to teach us how to play uh, baseball, football, all the sports, And so we were directed in the right direction at a young age, and that's why I'm here today. Our heavyweight champion of the world. If he was living, Tommy Wade, he would really be overwhelmed and stuff like that. So me and my brothers started out in sports, and this is the results right now. Me speaking
Now,
on your
Tim,
show.
no, very good, and it's such an honor because Tim, I not only watched your fights, I was also a fan, but you came in a very interesting time because you came post Muhammad Ali, but also Larry Holmes was an undefeated fighter, and he was trending, doing some incredible things, and you gave him the fight of his life, and actually only lost on a split decision, which many people thought you were robbed. Tell us a little bit about that fight and that night.
Yeah, I only had like 15, 14 fights. When I was an amateur, I only had like 7 fights. And I'm from Philly, and the Philly is a fight town. They got a lot of trainers, everybody motivated, trying to fight and stuff like that. I played other sports, I got hurt playing football. So I came home from college and started boxing. Buster Drayton, Earl Hardgrove, a lot of the boxers from South Philly was like going up to the gyms, and that's what got me started. And everybody in the neighborhood was like, Timmy boxing? Because I wasn't like a guy that go around beat up on people, aggressive and stuff. So I looked at it as a sport, and I got a lot of good followers by being that way. And so Buster Drayton took me to the gym, and I walked to the old Passion gym, is right where Sylvester Stallone made the Rocky movie, right there in South Philly. And we went to the old Passion gym, and that's where everything started. I went to the gym and started training, and I wasn't scared. I wasn't scared or anything. It was a sport. Some people like they get scared when they hear the word fight, but I viewed it as like a sports, and I wasn't really scared because it was like football, baseball, basketball. And a lot of people get discouraged or scared because it's a fight, you know. So I viewed it as like something where you get in and you know, just rough each other up as a sport and everything. But a lot of people don't want to go in that direction because it's a fight. You got a fist fight and stuff like that. So the old Pasture gym where they made the Rocky movie, I went right to that gym.
Now,
The
Tim,
old Pasture gym.
it is right there on your monitor, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out right there. Now, Tim, tell us a little bit about how were you able to get a fight with the world champion Larry Holmes with only a few fights under your belt?
Okay, at that time, Larry Holmes was trying to reach. He was undefeated. He was trying to reach a goal, staying undefeated, and he was really careful about who he was going to pick for his opponents. And so, I think Don King, it was either Don King was trying to either get him there, or was trying to get him bumped off, from being undefeated, the first guy to be undefeated. So I was just one of the guys in line, and they didn't really know that much about me. I had a great trainer, Slim Robinson, who taught me defense. Excuse me, who taught me defense and offense. So a lot of guys today, they're all offense, but both of them really help you. You can be champion just having one, but it really is really good when you know both of them. Keep your hands up, blocking punches, relax, throwing punches. So when I fought Larry, I was relaxed. We practiced for like a month and a half, blocking his jab, which was his asset. He had a great jab. And so I had a really intelligent trainer, Slim Robinson. So Slim had good guys with good jabs coming in. Man, I was blocking his jab for like a month and a half. So when I got in the ring with Larry, I was used to it. The jab, Larry had a good jab. That was one of his main things. So you're supposed to take away the asset of your opponent. So whatever it is, a right hand, uppercut, you know, you got to practice taking away, and that's what we did. And that's why I look really good against Larry because we practiced blocking jabs, and he had a really good jab. We took it away, and that's what helped me really get into a really good situation while the fight was going on, and people started liking me because I was aggressive, slipping punches, blocking his jab. We took his power away, and now we talking about it here today.
Tim, many people deemed you as the next Muhammad Ali because you came out of nowhere. You had the looks of Muhammad Ali. You had the cachet to fight. So many people deemed that, and we are looking at that in the comments section. And I remember that back then because, when you came out, you kind of came from nowhere, and then you had this fight with Larry Holmes, and many people believed you won it. And
It
that
did.
kind of catapulted your career because you had many title fights after that. You were world champ from 84 to 86, correct?
Yes.
And you fought many
Yes.
fighters. Now, which one was the hardest fighter or hardest hitter you ever fought?
Okay, but first of all, Ali was somebody that I looked up to. I was his sparring partner, and that's what motivated me. That's what motivated me and a lot of the people. The way that Ali presented himself and did himself, it really, as a young person, it really enlightened me, and the way he moved and did things, physically, mentally, and everything. Ali was the greatest of all times, and that's a lot of things that motivate you. You motivated me. You asked me what now?
Now, how did you take it when most people felt that you were the next Muhammad Ali?
I don't think they thought that was the next Muhammad Ali, but they knew that I was an up and coming guy that wasn't really cocky and show off and try to do different things like that. And that is really something when somebody recognize you as something like that. But I'm nowhere near this man. I was with him. We flew to Indonesia together. We was on private jet flying. I was his sparring partner. There's a lot of things that, man, to be around the greatest of all times and to be that close to him is really something, man, in this world. And it just motivated me totally. So, yeah, he flew with me to Indonesia at a fight. I knocked the guy out in the fourth round, He recognized me. We shook hands. We talked and stuff. And there was some other Muslim brothers that knew him from Philly. That's what made it a lot even more closer because they knew him too. Jeremiah Shabazz, Iman Shamsuddin, all those guys, they knew him, and that would made the friendship even more better. But Ali was one. He's the greatest man. He didn't had to do the things he did. You know, I'm here. I am a guy. Nobody know me. I'm just coming up, and he's helping me, helping people recognize who I am. And I was like, wow, that's cool. Afterwards, I was like, man, the greatest. You know, he didn't care. And look, and everywhere we went, he didn't wear suits. He didn't wear like was overdoing things. He just wore a plain old shirt. He had a snotty ass tissue. Excuse my language. He put it. He put the tissue in his shirt pocket, and when he get ready to sneeze, he would take it out and go and put it back in there. And he wouldn't wear dress. He wouldn't wear suits. He wouldn't wear like all this fancy stuff. He just wore regular basic stuff. And that's what the true champion is. You know, he didn't wear no suits or nothing like that. And he always carry that little snotty little tissue, and he go blow it and put it in his thing, and you know that was him, man. That was him all the way. And I wish I could have been like him, but there's a lot of you can't. This man is the greatest of all times.
Wow. Now, Tim, and for those who just joined us, we're talking to boxing great Mr. Tim Witherspoon on the Sherrod Show. We will take your questions momentarily. I know he's short on time. He's a very busy man. Now, Tim, when it comes down to the boxing game, which it is, it's a business of boxing. What's the ugly side of it? Most people don't know about.
You know when you sign the contracts, and the ugly side. You know, you gotta have a lawyer representing you. When I was coming up, I wasn't allowed to have somebody represent me, which was bad. Have a good lawyer, somebody's behind you 100%. Have a good trainer that teach you how to block punches, not just throw punches, but know both of them. You know, there's a lot of trainers out there. They don't know how to teach both. Some of them is all offense. Today you see a lot of guys, they're all offense, but you don't see a lot of these boxers relaxing and blocking punches. It's beautiful when you block a punch and slip instead of hitting. There's a lot of them. So the trainers back when I came up, they taught you both. So, and I'll be looking at the boxers today. A lot of them are really good offense, but when it comes to defense, I could tell. And it's like a lot of former older guys, they could tell that this guy might need a little bit of defense, and eventually he might get hit and possibly lose the fight. So our trainers, they taught you the old time guys back in my era, they taught you both. And I had a good defense, and that's hey, I'm here today talking to you, because I blocked a lot of shots for some guys that can't even hold like a conversation with you like I am. So
It's
that was
true. It's
very
true.
important.
It's very true. Now, Tim, really quick, I have one question for you, and we'll take the questions from the audience as well. I was asking you earlier, who was one of the toughest or hardest hitters you've ever fought against?
Well, Bone Crusher rocked me. I didn't really get hit hard because I had a good defense. My trainer taught me defense, and I was really relaxed when I fought a guy that could really punch. Bone Crusher Carter Troop William caught me with a right hand, and he stunned me. Bone Crusher hit me, but I didn't. He's a big hard puncher, but I didn't. But I didn't really. I blocked that really good. Carter Troop got me, and I think it was a couple more other boxers that got me. But you got to have both defense and offense. And Carter Troop snuck that right hand on me and rocked me, man. I won the fight, but he rocked me. I just barely missed that right hand he threw. And he got me before I put that hand up, and he rocked me real good. I'm just trying to see if there's any more. I was really comfortable in most of my fights. I had a good trainer, taught me defense, so I wasn't worried about really getting hit. But there was a fight that I underestimated. I forgot his name. He didn't have that many good. He didn't have a good record, and I took him. I underestimated him, and he won the fight from me. I should have looked on there and find out what was his name before I got on so I could tell you. And I lost the fight because he was aggressive. He didn't care, and he had nothing to lose. And he wanted a decision over me.
Very good. Well, it's time for questions for the audience. We'll just take kind of
Okay.
time for a couple. Very busy. I know this man has got so much going on, but this is from Cam. This is from Cam. He's from Long Beach, California. He said it's such an honor for Sherrod to have another great boxer on the show. His question is, as many people who fought in boxing, were you able to make the big money like the Muhammad Ali's and Larry Holmes and Leon Spinks when you were a fighter?
Well, see, yeah, that is a good question. No, I didn't. I had, I was with Don King, who was notoriously known for not really treating the boxers contractually and money wise. And, um, I was undefeated. I had a manager named Mark Stewart, and Mark Stewart was going to make sure that we get treated right. He was a, he was a really good businessman. He was in music. He was in music, managing music people and everything. And then he even said to us, um, "I'm going to make Don King pay you." You watched that. I was with him. Everything was comfortable. Everything was good. I was undefeated. And then they got caught selling. How about this? They got caught selling drugs. Mark Stewart is dead. But if you guys do research and tap in Larry Levin, they called him Dr. Snow, a real nice guy. He was a university guy. He was a dentist, and they were selling kilos while we were fighting, and we didn't know. I was with Bernard Hopkins' uncle, Marty McLeod, Artie McLeod. Artie McLeod was a bad boy. He was a really good boxer. Me, my brother Anthony Witherspoon, who was 12-0 with 12 straight knockouts, and there's a couple of Sterling Quick. And so when they got busted, that's how we went to Don King. So we were all undefeated. We had a good manager. We didn't know that they were doing that, selling kilos. And he was a nice guy, Larry Levin. If you look up Dr. Snow, you'll see it. Everybody, a lot of people know him. So we were with him. And so that's when everything went downhill. My brother Anthony didn't want to go with Don King. I was just like, man, wherever I'm going, I gotta just go. Because I want to keep on fighting. So,
So what year did you retire, Tim?
What year did I retire? I should have. Okay, was it? Oh, I think it was 2012.
2003.
Oh, it
2003.
was. It was 2003.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to do the research. I'm an old head, you know. No, yeah. So yeah, 2003. I thought it was two, something like that. And I was just, taking fights just to make money near the end of my career. I was like fighting guys. I wasn't really, hey, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna get another title shot. I already got title shots, and so at the end, I was just taking fights. Some of my lost, some I won near the end just to pay the bills. That's how things was near the end of my career. I wasn't getting hurt. I got taught how to block punches and everything. I switched on several different managers and stuff. I think it was time for me to just go home and just help boxing and train and let people know the goods and the bads about boxing.
Tim, you had an illustrious career. It's an honor having you on. We thank you so much. You've actually lived to tell about it, and talk about it. A lot of boxers have lived to tell about it, but they can't talk. They can't speak a complete
Yes.
sentence. And that's very true. Tim, we thank you for stopping by on the show. Do you have any final thoughts?
My thing is that I'm really gracious that you brought me on the show so I could talk about my, whatever happened. I'm sorry for choking on a piece of potato. I had to cook and clean because I raised 5 girls and 1 boy. My son has a boxing gym in Bristol, Pennsylvania. I had 2 daughters that graduated from Temple University. One daughter works in the hospital. I know I might be going away from what we're talking about. Then I have another daughter works in the airport. And I was there for them kids. I was there for them, my children. That will help me be like be like on this here podcast and doing positive things. But so you asked me, what did you
Your
say again?
final,
I'm
your,
sorry.
your final thoughts.
My final thoughts. Just all these young people, just keep on pushing because you never know where you're going to wind up. And that's what happened with me. I was a football player. I played baseball, played basketball. And people in my neighborhood was like, Timmy fighting? They couldn't believe it because I'm like a nice guy and not want to fight nobody, all this stuff. And the people in my neighborhood was like, Timmy fighting, I can't believe it. And when I heard it, that's what motivated me even more. Not on a negative thing, like, but I really wanted to do it because they didn't believe it because I wasn't a guy to bite you ear off like Mike. Mike, I love Mike. I was with him the other day. I was with Mike Tyson. I was with Tyson about 4 days ago. It was they had a event where you autograph pictures. It was Buster Douglas, me, Mike Tyson, um, Evander Holyfield the other day. So you just got to keep on pushing. Don't never let anybody tell you can't do something. Just because I didn't really fight that much in the street or anywhere else, don't mean that I can't be heavyweight champ of the world or heavy or lightweight champ. Don't never give up on what you want to believe, and don't never let nobody tell you that you can't do something. Okay, because
We
you
really
probably
appreciate it.
or definitely could do it. And so I didn't let nobody tell me I can't do it. And look at me, I'm two-time heavyweight champ. And I thought I was going to be a professional football player. And I'm doing I'm doing a interview on your show. So
We really
don't give up,
thank you,
young
Tim.
people, and don't let
Mhm.
nobody tell you can't do something.
Amen. Thank you, Tim. We just heard it from the champion, Mr. Tim Witherspoon, two-time champion on the Sherrod Show. Really a real icon. Really appreciate him stopping by on the show. Stay tuned on our next episode of the Sherrod Show, where we have iconic comedian Mr. Michael Collier stopping by the show, as well as the lovely Holly Berry. You don't want to miss that as well.
Woo!
Also, for Tim Witherspoon and all those who are watching, make sure you subscribe to the Pure Essence Television Network YouTube, and also follow us on Facebook as well as on our Twitter account as well. And always remember, ladies and gentlemen, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. See you next episode. Bye now.